our first checklist is for formatting. I have it set up as just simple yes or no, just so I can check these off as these things have been covered. The formatting I prefer to do first because it's your structure. It's equivalent to your building structure or your skeletal framework in your body. It's what holds the manuscript together. It's what everyone notices first. And it provides that structure so you can work with everything else because it has to be within this structure. So a couple of things that we should go through is make sure that it's the correct article type, that you formatted for a original article, full-length article instead of a case report or a review, things like that. Then make sure the journal template has been used if they have provided one. Sometimes reading through the journal's submission guidelines, you don't realize that the journal wanted a template until the last page. So it's very important to check those things. And that will show the journal that you have paid attention and are using their template. The next is page numbers, line spacing, font, margins. When editors, journals look at your manuscript for the first time, those things are going to stand out. You want to make sure that it is in alignment with those journal's instructions, and it makes for the manuscript to look very organized. So these are very important things to do. It seems minor, but it really makes a professional appearance. Other things, abstract and main text word counts within limits. Sometimes articles will be outright rejected because they don't fit into those word count limits. It's very important to keep within those. And in addition to those is also the references, tables, and figures within limits. If it says 30 references, there shouldn't be 50 references. That will have to be adjusted. That's very important to comply with those. The next one would be style consistency. Numbers, symbols, p-values, etc. Again, editors see thousands of manuscripts. And they'll notice, is your P capitalized in the abstract and it's in italics in the main text. That's a discrepancy, and that makes your paper look unprofessional. So it's really important to check with those style consistencies. It makes a much more polished appearance. And then we have appropriate, sorry, I went back. Wait a minute, 1 second. I clicked, okay, sorry. The appropriate section headings and subheadings. Make sure you have the introduction and it's not called a background, and try to follow the journal's format with that and make sure that everything is set up in an organized manner. The references list should be in the journal style, and the in-text citations for the references should be in the journal style. Now, I have a red flag down here that addresses the ambiguous and contradictory journal guidelines. Sometimes one section of the submission guidelines will say the tables have to be in the manuscript file. Another section will say the tables have to be submitted in a separate file. I make notes to the authors to address this to ensure that there won't be any issues with the journal. A lot of times this issue is resolved when you are in the online submission process, but my advice is to make a note of these things, so to bring it to the journal's attention, or even just outright contact the journal and ask, because you want to make sure that it's in the best possible presentation.